I'm working on my 2009 Chevy Cobalt, and today I'm going to be replacing the thermostat. If you're getting a code P0128 or your vehicle is running too hot or it doesn't get up to temperature, then you probably need to replace your thermostat. You never want to replace it or open the cooling system when the vehicle is hot or it's just been driven. The car currently has 339,482 miles on it. I'm the original owner and I've replaced the thermostat one time since I got it new. So this will be the second time. It's going to be almost impossible to get a good view to show you how to do it. So this is my backup engine for this car. So eventually when I pull this engine out to be rebuilt, I have this low miles engine. This is from a 2010 Chevy Cobalt and it only has 85,000 miles on it. So I'm going to show you where the thermostat housing is. It is on the driver's side of the engine, on just in between the engine and the fuse box, and it takes two 10mm bolts, one on each side, and you don't have to disconnect the hoses. You can leave those attached and just pull it off as a unit. Underneath the car, you're going to want to drain some fluid out of the radiator, and you want to drain enough so your overflow tank is empty and some of the fluid is drained out of the hose right here. So you want to drain enough out to where when you pull that off, it's not going to leak a bunch of coolant. So let me show you how to pull it off on this spare engine and show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it on my 2009 Chevy Cobalt. So your access is going to be really limited, so you're going to want to take out the engine cover. And there's two 10mm bolts. So you are going to lose a little bit of coolant when you pull this off, even if you drain the radiator. And there you go. There is the top of the thermostat housing. There are the two hoses. And get a pair of needle nose pliers and just give it a little pull. You want to make sure the spring side is facing down. When we put the new one on, I usually like putting a layer of coolant around it, just so there's no chance of getting it to bind. You want to make sure it's nice and has a little moisture there. So the only gasket this takes is the one around the top of the thermostat. It doesn't take a specific gasket between the housing halves. good demonstration on how to do it. Now I'm going to do it in the actual car. Here is the new thermostat. And I got this one from AutoZone. Then you want to use a GM specific coolant, and this is the Dex Cool Orange. And this lasts 5 years or 150,000 miles. So the first thing you're going to want to do is drain some of the coolant. Then I'm going to get in here and pull this off. I'm still going to try to place the camera so you can see, but you're really not going to get a good angle. One of the first things I'm going to want to do is get underneath the vehicle and drain some coolant out. Alright, to drain the coolant out, you get underneath the car, and like I said, make sure the car is cold. And there's the petcock. You're going to want to turn that counterclockwise, and it's going to drain fluid right out of the bottom of the radiator. So let me turn that. So reach up here and turn the petcock counterclockwise, and you don't pull it all the way out, you just open it. And you want to make sure the lid is, when it's starting to drip, you want to take the lid off the top of the overflow tank, and that'll release the pressure. Cars with California emission, you're going to have to loosen up the secondary air injector pipe in order to get to the thermostat housing bolt. And then on the top, you push down on each side of the hose and then pull out. And the secondary air hose just pulls away, which gives you enough room to get to that thermostat housing bolt. Just like I said, you really can't see. But there's a flexible extension to get better access. There is one bolt. Like I said, this would be impossible to film. I think you can kind of see it. Let me see if I can get you down there a little bit better. There we go. Now you can see it. It like I said, is nearly impossible to film. But there is the bottom of the housing. And there's the thermostat. I do have a bucket underneath collecting that. Alright, here is the new thermostat. And when I put this in, I'm going to put a thin layer of coolant around it. There we go. Last two bolts. So now I want to hook back up the secondary air injector. I said if your car isn't California emissions, it definitely is a little bit easier to do. And the last 10mm bolt in the front. that braces the secondary air injector. Go, make sure that gets a nice solid connection. Here is the old thermostat. I did take the gasket out, it was stuck in the housing, but I removed that. I just dropped on the ground. I'll grab that after I pull out. And this thing will open up at 180 degrees. And you want to fill it up with the GM Dexcool, and it's orange. Alright, give it a quick start, let everything settle. Check for leaks. Start it up and check for leaks. That is replacing a thermostat in a 2009 Chevy Cobalt. California emissions with the secondary air injector. As you can see, that's why I showed you on the extra engine I had, because it's almost impossible to film. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. The coolant's staying right at 180 to 190. So thermostat's working great.